All right, so we're back with Ricardo Gamboa. So last time that we did this, we had a technical malfunction.
And this time we're hungover.
Right, we were both hella hungover.
So I guess we'll start there.
Who the fuck is this asshole?
Cool. I am Ricardo Gamboa, otherwise known as Ricardo Gamboa, otherwise known as Ricky, aka Foreskin, aka just come up with all these crazy ass names. No, I'm a writer, performer, filmmaker. I built myself a lot of times as a artist, activist, and academic. So I make movies, plays, and just do kind of a lot of artwork that occurs within a activist register, and I'm working a lot at that intersection of culture and politics.
What's activist register?
I don't believe in making work for the sake of making work. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to get art star famous. I'm not trying to get my shit up in cool galleries or my plays produced in big theaters. Right. I'm trying to do shit that affects everyday people in real places and in real ways, and that is part of a larger kind of like ecology of and a larger system of trying to make social change and trying to shake shit up.
Chase the witch! Chase the witch!
I was just about to accuse.
Tell us about it.
Cool. So Brujos is a Queer of Color web series. It's about 4 gay Latino graduate students that are also witches, and they are trying to survive a witch hunt that's led by the heteronormative, male, wealthy, white descendants of the first New World colonizers. So it's like the secret society. Right. And it's out in January 2017, and it'll be 12 episodes, each 7 minutes. The 12 episodes coincide with the zodiac cycle. The 7 minutes, numerologically, it's about, 7 represents like illusions coming down and knowledge being revealed and things like that, the secret coming into the open. And I think part of what the show deals with is it kind of asks this this fundamental question of like, why can we look at all these episodes of racial and gendered violence and where do they come from? You know what I mean? Like, and why do we, how are we perceiving it? Why do we think and feel the ways that we do? And it kind of looks at the genealogy of those things. So it's kind of like goes across space and time. There's some 400-year-old characters in there. There's a lot of gay sex in there, a lot of good gay fucking in there. But it's a cast of all the cast is 20 to 30 people of color, queer people of color, women of color, trans women and trans men of color. And then it's like the reverse of like Hollywood, like, you know what I mean? Like there are no like, there's like no white males in there. Well, there are, they're like the bad guys. Right. So it's actually a documentary.
Let's get into
All right.
So why not drink the Kool-Aid and just vote for Clinton?
I'm not a Democrat either, I'm a nihilist.
I think we have to seriously interrogate, right? Like, well, so I'll say this, right? We're at a time right now where, we get to, this election is about how we want our white supremacy served to us. You know what I mean? Like, do we want like a brute, blatant white supremacist, or do we want this kind of like facade of liberal multiculturalism, right, that is veiling white supremacy? And I think it's between those. Rapids. I know that one way to not get me right to vote is to I think we hear a lot of the conversation about non-voters has boiled down to the Bernie or bust movement, and it's the charges on that are it's just a bunch of white people who can afford not to vote. They have so much privilege, or that it's it's a bunch of people that are just being babies. And so I guess like probably my thing is, one, I don't think any of that stuff is accurate, right? There's many people of color that are decorating my news feed that aren't voting for Hillary or for Trump that grew up in the fucking hood. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a political stance. I think when we think about voting, it's hard. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not an independent. I'm not left. I'm not right. I'm like, I'm block. You know what I mean? My politics are block, and I'm from the bottom, not just sexually, but And I think that it's about, you know, and I'm interested in toppling over the top, you know, and toppling over. I'm interested in, again, in a whole new world. And the political system that we have is about manufacturing consent for our political system. Kanye is a damn hot mess. Like,
You're gonna take him up on his VP request for you?
I would not. I would not. I mean, like, my thing is this, is like, you know, I think like he's a perfect example of like fame, right? So he kind of like came up in this like conscious hip hop performance of like conscious hip hop.
Yeah.
And I think like there's the people that are conscious and like down and like spitting some like revolutionary shit because they believe in like the revolution, right? And then there's the people that, it's ironic to me that he made a song like Through the Wire, which is critiquing certain types of like, you know, materialism, or, you know, and certain types of, and which is a critique on certain types of black people's materialism, right, or hood materialism, and then is like dating Kim Kardashian, trying to like blow up with the fashion line, and it's like, I think that's someone that always wanted to be famous. Part of his performance of being conscientious was a reaction to not, like that type of criticality was a reaction to not getting the fame that he thought he deserved. And then I think that people always reveal themselves. And I think that he, you know, who he's been revealed to be is an egomaniac.
Yeah. What do you got going on next?
Projects?
Yeah.
So Brujos is taking
Aside
up,
from finishing off.
yeah, Brujos is taking up a lot of my time. Right now I have a show running with my boyfriend at Free Street Theater, which is the coolest theater in Chicago, founded in 1969, the first multi-generational, multi-racial theater company, 1969. 69. I mean, they're just like a legit theater. Like part of their history was the company wanted to do a play in Cabrini Green, so they moved into Cabrini Green, lived with the residents, and devised a play with them about living in the projects. You know, and it's just kind of a theater that's really, it's not just like this bullshit about like, oh, we want to give a voice to marginalized people, and then it's just like these actors with MFAs or, you know, playwrights with MFAs. It's actually not just about diverse representation, it's about letting people from where we're from, right, doing self-representation. And so me and Sean, in line with that philosophy, my boyfriend, are doing a show there called Space Age, which is about growing up two queer boys of color, and trying to harness our queerness and construct it in spaces where there was no model for it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I drank 2 bottles of champagne, and one of them by myself, and then I had this like, I went to Maria's in Bridgeport, and it was like brotastic, so I just like had to drink fast to like, you know what I mean, like drunk, like drown the pain away.
Yeah.
And I had some like really good peach gin drink.
Oh,